Welcome back everyone, I hope you're all doing well. Today I've got a full office tour for you and we're going to start off with my oldest houseplant. So I've had this Calathea for about 14 years and it used to be really big and bushy. It got really pot bound, so I did split it into two, but then unfortunately it got thrips, so I lost half of it and this half pretty much I had to cut back to soil level because it was so infested with thrips, and it's actually been in quarantine for months and months, which is why you haven't seen this plant in any of my tours recently. But this is how it's looking now, and as you can see there's some new growth coming up, so I'm hoping that it doesn't get bugs again because it's been through the wars over the years. But it's funny because I've had this plant for so long and it wasn't until I started actually collecting houseplants that it got bugs. So for years and years it was fine, never had any bugs at all. So fingers crossed that it bounces back. And next to him we've got Calathea network. Again, this was one of my Calatheas that got thrips, so it was cut right back to soil level, and these are all new leaves. And these have both been in quarantine together in my ensuite bathroom for many months. Up here we've got my silver satin Pothos, which has grown all the way from here. It needs a water. If the leaves look slightly curly or wilted, it means it needs watering. It is plant watering day today, so I'll be doing that later. But this is definitely my fastest growing houseplant. I've trimmed it multiple times. It has shingled up the wall, and I just think it's beautiful. Next up we've got the Variegated Syngonium. This one's been doing really well. It could do with a bit of a dust. Again, that's something else I need to do. I need to go around and give all the leaves a bit of a wipe with some filtered water on kitchen roll. I think this is one of the newest leaves here. But this one's got really big. Seems to be enjoying life here against this wall. I would say it's more of a medium light here on this wall because it is about 12 feet or so away from the window, and it's a west facing window. But all the plants seem to be doing quite well here. This guy's doing well now. It took ages for it to start trailing. I've had it for years. This is one that I got from the Ginger Jungle a couple of years ago. It's really pretty. Again, I might have to give him a trim because I've got a chair here and it's starting to come down onto the chair, so I might give it a trim, propagate it in water and then put it back to make a bushier plant. This one's looking really pretty. I love the variegation on this. This one I picked up from the garden centre a couple of years ago. It was a very small plant when I first got it. And as you can see, it's looking quite bushy and it's been trailing nicely as well. Here we've got my crazy Allocation Cupria, which I also got from the Ginger Jungle a few years ago. And when I originally got it, I think it had about 4 or 5 leaves. And now it's got about 20 leaves. It's gone a bit wild. Actually, for the first time in a couple of years, it did drop a couple of leaves recently, but then it's just produced this one here, this one, that one there, and I'm pretty sure there's another one somewhere about to come out. It seems to be enjoying life there, so I daren't move it anywhere else. One of my favourite plants. So unusual looking. So that's everything I've got there on that back wall. And then if we come around here, In the corner I've got a peace lily. So ideally it does need a bit more light than what it's getting here. It hasn't flowered for years because it's not getting enough light, but as you can see it's quite big, so I haven't really got anywhere else that I can put it. It still keeps putting out leaves, but yeah, I think I might need to move it somewhere else. Although now that the weather's getting a bit better, it will get a bit more light in that corner. Over here we've got my Radicans Hybrid. Haven't had any new leaves for a long time, but look at all those growth points. I think there's about 30 there. Wow. So it actually looks like it's going to explode at some point. There's more on the back. So I'll be interested to see what happens with this one, because it has looked like this for quite a while, but some of the growth points are actually starting to get a bit bigger now. And here we've got my Syngonium Panda, climbing up some bamboo. I did give this one a trim recently and I sold the cutting. Somebody that collects Syngoniums. I really like the variegation on this one. So over on the window we've got a baby pink princess. This one hasn't really got much variegation at the moment, but I might stick it under my Spider Farmer grow light, as they all seem to get really good variegation when I grow them under there. We've got my variegated string of hearts. Looking a little bit bold on the top, but very, very full and bushy at the bottom. I have trimmed it multiple times and kind of given away the cuttings to friends or clients, but I think I need to give it a proper trim, propagate it in water, and then put them back in to make it a bit fuller at the top, because it does look a bit bold. It's not the best look. It's a really beautiful day today. Here's a sneak peek at my garden plans. So I've just been laying some stones out on the lawn just so I can get an idea of what's going to be happening with the lawn, but I'm going to be updating you on that possibly next week. So keep an eye out for that. Some work starting on my garden next week. I've got my rainbow hedgehog cactus here. It's not the best light, is it, really? There. Ooh, he's a bit dusty. It's very hard to dust a cactus. Might have to hoover it or something. If you've got any tips on how to get dust off a cactus, let me know. And then over in the corner we've got my African Hosta, which actually hasn't gone dormant this winter. So I managed to keep it going underneath my Spider Farmer grow light, and it's flowering. I might have to divide it because it's getting very pot bound. These multiply as well, and I've had this for a few years. So that's everything on the window at the moment. So as you can see, I'm growing quite a few things over on my cabinet. So hopefully, because the weather has turned a bit nicer in the last few days, I'll be able to start acclimating some of my caladiums this week. So I usually grow frog in a blender outside, and I might grow them all outside actually, because I am running out of room. So I think pretty much all of these will be going outside. I might just keep one for inside, maybe this strawberry star. I've got some Syngoniums in there. I think that's Epipremnum pinnatum, although there's no variegation on it at the moment. I've got this little guy, can't remember what that is. And then in my propagation box we have got some Allocation Cupria bulbs which have rooted and they're starting to produce leaves. And I just shoved this Begonia Amphioxus in here the other day. See what happens with that. So this is just damp perlite in here, and I don't have the heat mat switched on anymore because it's quite warm. Beautiful new leaf on this guy. Got some cuttings here. This is a Melanochrysum, another Epipremnum, Aglaonema pictum tricolour. So I've been growing all my caladiums underneath my Spider Farmer grow light for quite a few months now, but because they're getting quite big, I think it's time to move them, acclimate some of them to the garden, and then I can put my glass shelf back on here and then start growing some other plants. I'm not quite sure what, but I do really enjoy taking cuttings and propagating plants, so I might just have a shelf of propagations. I do get asked about my grow lights quite often, and I highly recommend the Spider Farmer grow lights. I've had these for over a year now. They are dimmable, which is very, very handy. I've never had any problems with them. They're completely silent. They don't give off much heat, and they are super bright, and my plants always seem to grow really well under them. I'll link them in the description box for you. So up here we've got another Begonia Amphioxus cutting, which I'll put, once I've moved the stuff under here, I'll put it down underneath the Spider Farmer grow light. I've got a Plougmanii here, which came out a little bit torn, but it's still beautiful. Look at this handsome devil. This was an Aglaonema pictum tricolour. It was so beautiful. It's got a really good root system on it, but it was growing in a plastic cup with no drainage holes, and I think I might have possibly overwatered it once, and then that was it, all the leaves fell off. So I repotted it, and hopefully it will grow back, but that's a bit annoying because it was quite expensive. I've got another Burley Marks here. Beautiful variegation on this one. This is one of the newest leaves here. Very, very beautiful. Got my Magnificum hybrid up here. He's just got one leaf at the moment. Just finished flowering, but there is another growth point. So hopefully we'll get another leaf soon. This plant belongs to Zahir at Foliage Fanatic. I've been looking after it for him. He's also growing one in his office. But here is the newest leaf, which is still hardening off. Quite exciting. Because I haven't had a new leaf from this one for a while. I think this was the last new leaf. So I'm quite excited about that. Let's see how big it gets. Up here we've got a Paraiso Verde. This originally was from Foliage Fanatic and it had one leaf. Now it's got about 5 leaves, 4 or 5. A new one on the way there. Another one there. Got another Burley Marksy up there on top of the humidifier. I highly rate my Elect Homes humidifiers. This is a top fill, which is great for my hands because I've got repetitive strain in both hands. So all you do is take the lid off, and then you can just bring up your water filter or jug and just fill it from here rather than having to take out a tank or anything. Although the tank does have a handle on it, so you can actually take it out if you want to, but I usually just bring up my jug and fill it from here. I'm also using distilled water in my humidifiers now. The reason for that is because I was getting a build-up of white dust all over my furniture and my plants, and it was becoming a real nightmare. So I've been using distilled water for about a month. I've got a Mega Home countertop water distiller. If you haven't seen the video, I'll link it below for you. But I'm thrilled that I don't have to deal with the white dust anymore, and it was ruining all my furniture. Look, this doesn't even come off. and that was just from the build-up of minerals from the water. I don't have that problem now, so I'm super happy. Right, I might have to climb up to show you the next plant. So this is a pink princess, and just look at this gorgeous leaf. It doesn't really have much variegation on the other leaves, just a few flecks here and there. And then it just produced this stunner, so quite happy about that. Just got a Florida Ghost cutting there, just rooting in perlite and moss. Here we've got Syngonium Pink Splash. I have taken a few cuttings from that one because it was getting a bit wild. These are the cuttings here. Really, really pretty. So here we've got Philodendron Sodaroy. This one's a bit temperamental. Oh, that leaf looks quite good. But I have found that the leaves yellow quite quickly for some reason. But it has got quite a few leaves now, and this one, I think this is the newest one, it looks quite nice. At the back, got Philodendron Luxurians. Again, this one's a little bit temperamental. This leaf came out a bit ripped. I'm going to be having a plant shuffle soon. As I mentioned, I'm going to be putting the shelf back down there, so I'll be able to space out the plants a bit more and give them a bit more room. Here we've got a Variegated Syngonium, just doing quite well, seems to be loving life under the Spider Farmer grow light. This is my other one. And at the back there we've got my Variegated Monstera. This is the top cutting. I actually recently just sold the bottom part. So I had the bottom part, this top cutting, and then this was the middle section here. Look at this leaf. Wow. Really, really beautiful variegation. And we've got a new leaf on the way. The top cutting is also super variegated. This is the white leaf that I showed you. I think it must have been about 5 or 6 months ago, and I was getting lots of comments saying that it's probably not going to last very long because it's got so much white in it, but as you can see it hasn't even got any brown or crispy bits on it, which is amazing. So yeah, I'm sure it was about 5 or 6 months ago. This is the other leaf, and I'm sure it won't be long before that one pops out another leaf. They seem to grow very quickly. So that's everything on that shelf. And then right at the top, we've got this guy. Oh dear, he's a bit dusty. So this is what I mean by that white dust. So these all need a good dust. It seems to be doing okay up there. And then over here we've got the Adansonii, which is at the back. They look quite similar. Down here we've got my Forgetii, which is flowering at the moment. He's got 2 leaves. And we've got a Magnificum there. Some new growth coming up on that one. This was a Regale. Again, we've got some growth coming, so that's good. And then we've got my Fishbone Cactus there at the back, which has sent out this funny little arm which always like prods me when I'm trying to work, because I sit on this stool for work. This is the bed here, and then the stool's here. I'm a cosmetic tattooist, if you wondered. But yes, I think I need to move that scary arm out the way because it's a little bit off-putting when you're trying to work and that's like tickling your back. I've just brought Romeo out from the bottom shelf. So this was my giant Regale that had 1 huge leaf. It eventually dropped that leaf because I had some problems with the roots, and I've been re-rooting it in moss for quite a few months, and then he's just pushed out this leaf. So I might actually pot him up. That might be an idea. I've got quite a few plant chores to do over the next few weeks. And then we've just got my Epipremnum pinnatum here. Beautiful. So yes, that's everything I am growing in my office at the moment. I hope you enjoyed the tour. If you've got any questions, please leave them below in the comments. Take care everyone, and I'll see you all soon.